We are desperate for leaders to step up. What do we get instead? Dueling bills instead of cooperation. You can't come together to agree on what's anti-Semitism. Even this has to be played to advantage. We have a member of the Oversight Committee who toured the pro-Palestine encampments at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. They've grown since last week. The member is Florida Representative Byron Donalds. Brave for him to go. Why did he go? What did he see? What is he going to do about what he saw?
How much is AIPAC paying you, you race traitor?
Race traitor? What?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Uncle Tom?
Why the United States is supporting a Jewish supremacist country?
Outside agitators aren't allowed. You're working for a foreign entity, you bastard.
It's interesting. Not the AIPAC thing. You'll hear that all the time. A race traitor to a black man in America. You see what these people are trying to make this about. Congressman wasn't having it. But what's he going to do? Byron Donalds joins us now. You did a good job keeping your cool. I know that was way over the line and struck at something that actually matters to you. Why did you go?
Well, I wanted to go and actually see firsthand what was happening at George Washington University here in Washington, D.C. We were informed by the administration that they had requested the Metropolitan Police Department to help them clear the encampment because the encampment is on university grounds. It is clear trespassing at this point. And they wanted to make sure that was cleared for the students who are trying to finish their exams, study, and get all their work done before their semester is over. Mayor Bowser has refused to release the Metropolitan Police Department to help George Washington clear the encampment because this is, like I said before, it's trespassing. The Oversight Committee, we do have oversight over the activities of the District of Columbia, including all their policies and procedures. We passed legislation around one of their reforms to the criminal code, and we passed legislation which was signed by Joe Biden to reverse course on what D.C. had done. So Congress has oversight over the matters of Washington. This is something that is impacting the students at George Washington University, and the core message is encouraging Mayor Bowser to step up and support the president of George Washington and the administration. They want to get the campus back under control.
Who's the bad guy? Because, as we both know, protesting for the cause, signature part of American democracy, being pro-Palestinian, there's nothing evil about that, and seeing the suffering there. To you, where do you see the line, and who's crossing it, and how?
Two things. First, when you are impeding the activities of the university and other students, that's where you cross the line. Nobody has a problem with free speech and protesting. That is as American as apple pie. But when you impede other people from their liberties, trying to go and seek their interests, get their education, which people are paying a ton of money to get, that's where it's got to stop. Secondarily, the campus is private property. The campus president went through the process of trying to find out and get people to organize and protest in a peaceful manner and not be disruptive of other students. That has not occurred. The last thing is, according to the administration, they believe at least 80%, if not more, of the protesters in this encampment do not go to George Washington University. They're coming in from outside. And I think that's what people are seeing all across the country. It's actually not all of the students who are the core part of these encampments that have propped up. These are outside groups. These are AstroTurf being brought in to create a spectacle around being, whether you want to call it pro-Palestine or supporting Hamas, whatever the case might be. It is massively anti-Semitic. That is what I saw today. Massively anti-Semitic. And that is a serious problem. They don't even allow for dialogue and debate. So if you want to protest peacefully, fine. But you cannot take over institutions to get your point across.
Here's the concern for me. And tell me if you don't share it and where we should focus otherwise. When you say that it's an outside element, you and I both know that happens in these mass protests. You have these people who take advantage, whether they're the anarchists or the Guy Fawkes types. But here, I see it as even more inorganic than most protests. I believe that this is what Christopher Wray at the FBI was talking about months ago, that this is Muslim Brotherhood, toxic Islamism, finding ways to fund, promote, radicalize on social media and on campus. And that's what you're seeing with those non-student agitators that are showing up. Is that an angle of inquiry for the United States Congress?
It is, and I think they're the relevant committees, not just the Oversight Committee, but I also believe the Education Committee, the Ways and Means Committee. There is now, members are looking into the money flow behind these organizations. Where are the dollars coming from? Because if you have groups from overseas, or you have regimes from overseas who are basically funneling money into the university system to stand up these protests, we want to put a stop to that. We do not allow for that to take place in the United States. Furthermore, a lot of these institutions do receive federal funds. And so that's another question that Congress is going to have. But we're looking into this right now. This is not something that we're just going to let just continue with no response whatsoever, using whatever the authorities that the Congress has. But a lot of this goes back to college presidents doing the right thing and protecting all of their students, so all of their students can actually get their education, which is the reason they're there, but then also have the ability to speak freely and not be intimidated by other voices, especially voices that don't go to the university at all.
Right. Byron, thank you for being with us. Representative Donalds, you have a platform here to make the case. This is going to be going on for a while, I think, beyond when school lets out, although I think a lot of air comes out of the balloon at that point. Just please try to get as many people from both sides of the aisle on board. This should not be a partisan issue about what we're about in this country and what we're not. This is a common concern. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you again, and stay safe.